The all-new Laurel Park is beyond your expectations. Feel the anticipation.
Is this long shot?
Witness the speed. Experience the thrill.
Welcome, Maryland racing fans, to the replay show for Friday afternoon. Yes, we are back on the turf this afternoon at Laurel Park Turf, rated good for the opener at 1 mile, and the main track is fast. On the horizon, Maryland Million Day. Gates open at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday. The special post time of 12 noon on Jim McKay Maryland Million Day, and our regular post time now is shifted to 12:30 as part of the Stronach 5 this afternoon. We'll have our 10th race at Laurel Park as the fourth leg of the Stronach 5 that begins at Gulfstream Park West. Santa Anita, then Gulfstream Park West, back to Laurel, and ending up at Golden Gate to complete the Stronach 5. Let's watch the action from Friday afternoon. Light up, and they're off. Look Within pops away with early speed, too, is Keen Away, and Meldon in between horses, and the fire outside there is Brusilov, who's 4 deep into the turn run. Just in behind him while saving ground is Throw the Deuce for an inside post position, and I've got a plan. The red colors out there 3 wide. Sandy Lane's about a half dozen lengths off the early speed. Back to Rule Yourself and Kid Jeter, and Sadler Bay is the last runner. Some 18 lengths off the pace. 24.34 was that opening 2 furlongs, and leading the way is Meldon. Meldon in front by a head from Look Within second. Brusilov continues on the outside in third position. I've Got a Plan drops in behind them, racing in fourth spot. Keenway is fifth, and Rule Yourself from sixth, and next is Sandy Lane. Here's Kid Jeter getting underway out there in the 3 path now, within about 6-7 lengths off the pace up ahead, still set by Meldon. Meldon in a 49.43 half mile takes him into the far turn. Meldon from Look Within second. Brusilov is in third position. Kid Jeter and Rule Yourself moving as a team. Rule Yourself and Kid Jeter. Kid Jeter, the one widest of the ball now, striking the front with 3 furlongs left to go. Rule Yourself's kicking with that one. So it's Kid Jeter, Rule Yourself. Meldon on the inside running a big race. I've Got a Plan is racing in fourth. Then it's Keenway fifth at the top of the stretch. They make the turn for home. Kid Jeter's in front. Kid Jeter determined. Rule Yourself down to the inside, coming back for a little more for the final furlong run. And here is Rule Yourself on the inside, determined. Kid Jeter on the outside's got that head lead though. Kid Jeter, Rule Yourself on the inside. A stretch-long battle here at Laurel Park, and it's Kid Jeter. Kid Jeter. Kid Jeter from Rule Yourself. I've Got a Plan was third, then Keenway fourth. Sadler Bay fifth. And they're off. Love Me Forever, Slow to Begin. Bayou's Legacy first to burst away, and Stereo Viewing's right there with some early foot as well. So Bayou Legacy and Stereo Viewing on the outside, almost head-to-head to that first turn run. They clear by 2.5. On the outside is Rain on the Dune racing in third position. Benavida tucked in on the inside. They're saving ground, and Pepper Pot is in between horses as they round that first turn. A gap of 3. Devil in the Details is next, and Gold Makes Me Smile saving ground on the inside. It's the 2 lengths back, and Love Me Forever. Tap It Together in the back of the pack, and about 10 lengths to make up early. 24.33 of the opening 2 furlongs. It is Bayou's Legacy nursed along on that lead. Bayou's Legacy from Stereo Viewing the closest closest one in the second spot. Rain on the Dune is in third and clear on the outside, and Benavide on the inside in fourth, and Pepper Pot racing in fifth. Devil in the Details is sixth, while out in the clear, and Gold Makes Me Smile tries to improve a bit while saving ground. Here's Tap It Together now in an 8 of the front, second last position, and Love Me Forever trailing the field. Into the far turn, the half went in 48.96, so 3 furlongs left from home. And Stereo Viewing goes on to take the lead. Stereo Viewing's in front. Pepper Pot and Tap It Together shifting off heels, coming out wide into the stretch. Tap It Together set down way out in the center of the track, coming with a bit of late kick, but in the meantime, final furlong, Stereo Viewing 3-length advantage. And now here comes Devil in the Details, unleashing a final furlong rally on the outside. Devil in the Details closing steadily, slowly but surely on the outside. Almost a three-way go. Photo finish. Devil in the Details on the outside. In a photo finish there, Stereo Viewing, and Pepper Pot was right there in the mix in between. Light up. And they're off. Telling Warrior, there goes Sacred Walk with early foot, and Painter's Pride, So Good is right there early, and Edify not far back, racing along in the fourth spot. Telling Warrior broke with it, but now back in fifth. They are followed by The Walk, who's on the inside around that first turn run, and Hayana is seventh and last. So leading the way is Sacred Walk from Painter's Pride, and So Good up close there in third. Another two. Edify is racing in fourth position, and on the outside is Telling Warrior, and The Walk saving ground is one beaten, and that is Hayana, who's seventh and last. Slow pace, 24.58 was that opening quarter mile, now with 5/8 left to run. It is Sacred Walk out there. Sacred Walk, the favorite, leads about a length and a half. Sacred Walk from Painter's Pride, riding the rails second, and So Good to the outside. And fourth is Edify. It's another three. Telling Warrior, followed by The Walk on the inside, and Hayana is last, as Sacred Walk continues to show the way into the far turn and sneaks away after a 48.04 half mile, now to almost a 2-length lead. So Good on the outside. Painter's Pride is in third. Edify called on for a little more run there from fourth. The Walk has to pick it up, and so does Telling Warrior, and Hayana is trailed throughout. Coming toward the top of the stretch, Sacred Walk clear by 3. Sacred Walk from So Good, Edify the outside, and Painter's Pride is fourth the inside. Into the stretch of the 360s, and Sacred Walk burst away to a solid advantage. Let's make it 6 now, 7 lengths with a furlong left to go. So Good from last is Hayana, who's picking up a share. Hayana is running into second with a 16 to go, but it is all Sacred Walk in a walk, almost a romp, to win by 8. Hayana, then So Good, Painter's Pride, and The Walk. For 7 to 1. in the rough. Stormologist with a very sharp beginning. Bodega Bay from the inside gate, and Madame Milan racing third into the first turn run. Then Sweet Candy Dance, and I'm pretty strong. The favorite is caught widest of them all out there at about the 4 or 5 path as they round that turn. Then in between horses, Dothraki Sea and Nike's Warrior is the last runner. So around the turn, 6.5, 7 lengths will cover them now with 7/8 of a mile left to go. Stormologist on the lead. Madame Milan is tracking in second spot. It's another length and a half. I'm pretty strong. Continues outside there, third position. And Dothraki Sea is next in fourth. And Sweet Candy Dance. They're followed by Bodega Bay, held up second last position. And Nike's Warrior is in the back. 7 lengths from front to back now. 24.71 was the opening quarter mile as they passed that 5 furlong marker. Stormologist with clear sailing up front opens up. A 2-length lead on Madame Milan heading into the far turn run. In the meantime, I'm Pretty Strong is on the outside, still in third position, and it's back to in between horses. The Rocky Sea. The half was in 48.37 into the far turn run, where Stormologist is the one to catch. Madame Milan for all on the outside as I'm Pretty Strong, going smoothly enough. Those had a wide trip. Another 2.5, and it's Sweet Candy Dance, Dothraki Sea, Nike's Warrior, and Bodega Bay in the pack. Stormologist trying to give him a slip at the quarter pole, opens up 3 lengths as I'm Pretty Strong working much harder in second. Then it's Madame Milan. The far outside, Nike's Warrior. Down toward the inside is Dothraki Sea. They're coming for the last furlong, and it's Stormologist sharp right out of the gate, and Stormologist is well clear in a scramble for second. It's Nike's Warrior just grabbing second now from Sweet Candy Dance. Sweet Candy Dance now second, but Stormologist with a big performance to win by a half dozen. Sweet Candy Dance and Nike's Warrior, then Bodega Bay. For 6-2-1. For Stormologist at 5. Mile on the Dahlia course. And they're off. It's Gilgamesh showing early foot. Glad Moon there on the outside, and Animal Kingston near that inside as they move to that first turn run and to clear off by about 5 lengths. And fourth position is Our Dominator, is over to the 2 path. And Conquest Falcons on the inside, and a gap of 4 lengths. Here's Conscripted, the favorite. Now some 10 lengths off the lead, and Smash Williams racing back in the pack with Game Night. And last is Fevered Affair. An opening quarter in 24.98 and the good going, and the tugging leader out there is Glad Moon. Glad Moon moving right along, lead to the length and 3/4 from Animal Kingston is second, another 5. Gilgamesh is in third. Conquest Falcon fourth. Our Dominator fifth. Game Night on the outside racing 6th position, and Smash Williams Conscripted still plenty to do at this point. And Fevered Affair is in the back. About 13 lengths will cover them in the half mile, 50.03. So Glad Moon into the far turn still leads, but on the outside, Animal Kingston keeping that pressure on from second spot. It's still a big gap of about 6, maybe 7 lengths now to Conquest Falcon, as Conscripted the favorite is far behind in last position. So midpoint on that turn, moving toward the top of the stretch. Glad Moon, Animal Kingston hooking up with that one on the outside. They're in even terms and head-to-head and shoulder-to-shoulder as they turn for home. Animal Kingston on the outside. Glad Moon out of the inside is going to respond for a little bit more for the last furlong. On the inside, Glad Moon, Animal Kingston on the outside. Got to even terms, put ahead in front. Now back to even terms once again. And on the inside, Glad Moon is determined. Glad Moon and Mario Pino. Glad Moon guts it out to win from Animal Kingston, and about 9 lengths back to Conquest Falcon. Then it was Fevered Affair and Our Dominator. lined up. And they're off. Even Thunder, Saratoga, Jack, and Tour de Forces right up close to the turn run. Then it's back to Top of Mind and Final Prospect around the turn. Marengo Road is the last runner. Now 9 off that pace up ahead. Pace looks sharp up there with Saratoga Jack wing right along. Saratoga Jack 2.5, almost 3 from Even Thunder second. And Tour de Forces in third. Final Prospect is in fourth. Then it's Marengo Road and Top of Mind. They're the two in the back. At opening quarter fired up at 23.09. So with 6 furlongs left to go. Extremely quick pace with Saratoga Jack and Caramanas leading the way for the gray Even Thunder in second, as Tour de Force is third in mid-pack now. Then it's Final Prospect and Marengo Road and Top of Mind, yet to unwind from the back of the pack, but a quick pace still with Saratoga Jack out there. Saratoga Jack from Even Thunder heading into the far turn, and a 46.57 half-mile fraction. Now they're beginning to close in a bit. On the front runner is Tour de Force is in third, and Top of Mind first a bit on the far outside. Top of Mind has moved to fourth while 3 wide. Then it's Final Prospect and Marengo Road. Now 6 lengths covers him, 3 furlongs from home. Saratoga Jack fully extended to hang on. Tour de Force on the outside. Even Thunder's right there in the battle too. And Top of Mind, then Marengo Road. And last is Even and Prospect. Final Prospect. They're at the top of the stretch now, and it's Tour de Force on the outside, collaring Saratoga Jack. Even Thunder is just in behind them in third, switching to the far outside. Top of Mind lingers to the center of the track. Here's Tour de Force. Tour de Force powering away. Tour de Force with Even Thunder on a game chase. Tour de Force with Even Thunder. Tour de Force and Johan Rosado. Tour de Force to score by 2 at the finish from Even Thunder second. Saratoga Jack and Marengo Road and Top of Mind. For 2-3-6 for Tour de Force with Johan Rosado at 2-1. And they're off. Let Me Slide by You in a hurry the far outside. Avila's got a sharp break, and Fergie's Lady is right there to the first turn run. Just in behind them now is Stellar Trick. Stellar Trick is taken back. On the inside is Greased Lightning. Greased Lightning now pushing up to fourth. A gap of 2 to Jolted Runaway, and last on the inside is Mrs. Rembrandt. So around that turn, and it's Let Me Slide by You, setting a solid pace out there. This long shot is, leads it up a length and a half from in second position on the outside, Stellar Trick. As they make their way now to the 5-ace pole, as Aviles settles in third. Fergie's Lady racing in fourth position, Jolted Runaway on the outside, and Greased Lightning is 5.5 from the front, and Mrs. Rembrandt trailing the field. The opening quarter went in 23.89, and it's still Let Me Slide by You, rolling into the far turn with a 47.78 half mile from Stellar Trick. Stellar Trick, the closest rival to Let Me Slide by You, is trying to kick on. The inside is Aviles racing in third. Fergie's Lady is in fourth. And Greased Lightning on the inside, now in the 2-path. And here comes Greased Lightning splitting horses, moving into third with a solid move. On the back of the pack is Mrs. Rembrandt, also beginning to get interested. And Jolted Runaway last the far outside. Top of the stretch now, and Greased Lightning. Greased Lightning's up top. Mrs. Rembrandt follows that move the far outside in second. And to the inside is Aviles in third. Stellar Trick, Even Clip in fourth. They're coming to the final furlong. Greased Lightning, Mrs. Rembrandt on the outside. Mrs. Rembrandt puts the head in front from Greased Lightning, and they're well clear of the others now. With Aviles just holding third from Jolted Runaway. They're close to the Laurel line. Mrs. Rembrandt. Mrs. Rembrandt scores 2.5. Greased Lightning. Jolted Runaway was third. Then Aviles. and Stellar Trick of Fergie's Lady. They're lined up, and they're off. Quality Choices just a beat slow to begin. Mojo's Louis Cat firing from the rail to the front, chased by Fellow in second, and Seattle Rick is taken back in third position. Hunt Me Down from in between horses, and Quality Choice going to be about 3 or 4 deep into the turn run. As they round that turn, drifting out a little bit is second. Encore carrying out Bob in our midst just a path or so. What a Hoot saves ground round that turn, and Secret Cape unhurried second last position, and Crush It is last of them all. Crush It has about 11 to make up early. The opening quarter 24.30 on this good ground. Now on the outside, here's Fellow. Fellow's going to go on with it. Fellow by a neck from Mojo's Louis Cat. Another 2 lengths back. Looks like the saddle may have slipped a little bit there, and Hunt Me Down racing in third position. And they're followed by Seattle Rick, who's racing in fourth. Inside is What a Hoot is in fifth. And so they're 2 lengths back. Here's Quality Choice, now 6 off the lead, heading into the far turn run. And a gap of 2.5 Bob in our midst at an even clip at this point. They're followed by Secret Cape in second, Encore, and Crush It with a lot to do now into the far turn after a 48.82 half mile. So around that turn, and it's Mojo's Louis Cat. Fellow's gone off the scene. On the outside now, here comes Seattle Rick. Seattle Rick now moving, and What a Hoot saving ground into the stretch now. And it's Mojo's Louis Cat just in front. Mojo's Louis Cat with a 2.5 length lead from Seattle Rick in second. Hunt Me Down is just trying to hold third. To the inside is What a Hoot in fourth. They've got about a furlong left to go, and it's Seattle Rick in front. Seattle Rick and Mojo's Louis Cat driving back on the inside. Seattle Rick, and Pino with 2. Seattle Rick, Mojo's Louis Cat. Hunt Me Down ran a big one, and then it was What a Hoot and Quality Choice. Lined up, and they're off. Sharp break for Ginger S. Cresses Laurel Zip and Lazaraya mixing it up in between horses. Lorelei from the rail. On the hop is next, and Forest Lily will settle in between rivals. Not far off the lead, only 3 off the front. As they have for the turn, Holiday Magician is next. Now Amazon Lily third last. And Joyful Noise back of the pack along with Lorelei, who's now last of them all. Lorelei's dropped out to last. Into the far turn, Cresses is now in front. Cresses by almost 3 lengths from Lazaraya, and on the hop of the outside on the move. On the hop, on the move into second. At the rail is Holiday Magician, the gray, who's sneaking right on through. Then Joyful Noise, bearing out a bit is Forest Lily past the quarter pole. Amazon Lily's next, then followed by Lorelei, Gingeresque. At the back of the pack, not much at all. Gingeresque is trailing into the stretch now at the 3/16, and it's On the Hop who's taking the lead. Holiday Magician tries to come with that one on the inside, and Joyful Noise is in third, and Lazariah for a share, a 16th left to go, and it's On the Hop, into the winner's circle. The win by 2. Joyful Noise was second, Holiday Magician and Lazariah, and followed by Cresses. Don't poke the cat. And they're off. Can Do Anything and Royal Crusader in the early firing line, along with Banjo Bill on the outside to that first turn run, and Chateau de Vizier just in behind them, and Charging Storm is eager to, about 3 deep of that turn. My Brother Sledge on the inside and a little bit tight, and in between horses too, tugging right along is Barley Twist. Barley Twist now placed in between of the turn run. So on the outside, going on with it is Banjo Bill. Banjo Bill now in Royal Crusader, length and a half more, and just off him is Charging Storm in third position. Barley Twist in between horses and 4 Chateau de Vizier and Can Do Anything. And followed by My Brother Sledge, who's taken in behind horses about 7 lengths from the front, and Tap the Moment on the inside, and Done Acting racing to the back of the pack. Don't Poke the Cat is well back there, some 17 off the lead, and Posterity is last of them all, got to be about 20 lengths off the pace. 24.55 the quarter, 49.50 was the half on this good ground. Into the far turn, 3.5 furlongs left to go, and it is Banjo Bill just in front. Royal Crusader there on the outside up to even terms. So Royal Crusader and Banjo Bill. Length and a half more, and Charging Storm poised for a run from third. Can Do Anything is in 4. Chateau de Vizier in fifth. Done Acting advancing from 6 while wide on the track. The others have plenty to do, including Don't Poke the Cat, who's starting to run but is taken very wide into the stretch. Into the stretch at the 3/16 now, and it's Royal Crusader narrow lead. Charging Storm center of the track, and Can Do Anything down to the inside. Can Do Anything kicking, and down to the inside also My Brother Sledge on the scene. Don't Poke the Cat picking up a share of the far outside, then Done Acting. While finish coming, Can Do Anything, try to hold. Can Do Anything, Can Do Anything, Can Do Anything, Done Acting. In the photo for third is Royal Crusader and Don't Poke the Cat and My Brother Sledge. 3 in a photo. Time 141.08. That's a wrap on the full 10-race program from Friday here at Laurel Park. Join us, Jim McKay, Maryland Million Day Fun for the entire family. It's Maryland's Day at the races. Gates will open at 10:30 a.m., post time at 12 noon. And this year's Jim McKay Maryland Million includes the Clubhouse Fest right there on the first turn opposite the paddock here at Laurel Park. So hope to see you with Jim McKay Maryland Million Day on Saturday. Thanks for watching the Friday show.